Welcome to this week's Whole Week Costa. I'm Jay here with Kev. Tonight we have a special guest, Nate from Colorado. This is take two because I recorded with the wrong microphones.
So that was a much better intro, though. Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like our initial intro was a little stumbly.
So we got this
better.
one. This one's pretty
Yeah.
good. So Nate, you want to say hi?
Hey. Hi.
Nate's from Colorado, so they have
high.
they have weed and mushrooms.
I feel like my little sound spikes don't look as big as they usually do on the thing.
Yeah.
Is that fine?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So tonight on the beer table, what are you drinking, Kev?
Longshore Lager from Flying Fish Brewing Company.
And you're drinking outside, Nate?
Yes.
Yeah, outside IPA.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm drinking Longshore with Kev. So they had this sour beer, which was delicious, and I went to a beer festival on Saturday, and so I went with Dave and Haddon Heights.
The one by his house?
Yeah, the one by his house. So I go there, right? And I show up and I brought a cooler, like a little knapsack full of beers. I was like, give me a cup. I'm going to drink. He's like, you can't drink beer. And I was like, why can't I? It's a beer festival. He's
fair.
like, you have to drink the beer here. I'm like, well, I'm going to start with this beer. So I did that. So
I feel like I have listened. I'm picturing you with like a fanny pack of beer on.
basically,
Is what I picture in my head.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was a green man purse,
Nice.
cooler fanny pack. It could have been. So tonight we have to talk about Game of Thrones season finale.
And we're also going to revisit Marvel because Nate has some
Yeah.
Marvel thoughts.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to hear
So
about that too.
so I liked the ending. I thought the ending, the last half an hour was a really good half an hour, not for Game of Thrones. It wrapped up the show really well. Not the show I just watched for the last 8 years, but it wrapped up a show.
Well, it was a half hour of civil administration. It was the King's Moot that they had apparently.
Yeah. And then Braun of fan service, Blackwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just continually insulted his body. Just calling him broken every time they talk to him. Is he gonna live with that the rest of his life?
I like that. I like the meme today. It was like a meme of like Bran looking pissed off, and then it was like nobody, and then it was like Sansa. Bran's dick don't work.
That's right. She did. She called him out. That was bad.
Which I mean, it might. I mean, we don't know.
Well, maybe she tried it. Maybe she's part Targaryen
Maybe.
too.
I love the public shaming too of like her uncle or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Sit down. And she, like,
Yeah.
Everyone else. Like,
Nate, what was your we got to go over this again.
Okay,
what was your
so-
gripe that we all agree on?
Yeah, so the gripe is that they are,
They sailed off.
yeah, the Dothraki, or well, they weren't, but the Unsullied guys just sold. Yeah, they sailed off, but the what's his name, the leader of the Unsullied,
Grey Worm
Yes.
or Norgan something.
yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He was making such a big deal about Jon Snow, and he's like, "Oh, he killed my queen, that bastard. He needs to die, or something." And Tyrion's like, "No, don't kill him." But they just sail off, and it didn't really matter. He could have came back and been like co-king or whatever the hell he wanted to do. He could not had to go up in the winter again, up north.
Maybe they're gonna check back in a couple of years.
That's
It's like,
what I'm-
Jon
this
Snow better
is-
be up there.
It really did kind of start feeling like this is like, why don't we wrap this up so we can get the next series going, so we
Yeah.
can make more friggin' money.
So
Did I mention last week that it's because the two directors, they got offered in season 7, they got offered to direct a Star Wars film?
yeah, which Star Wars people are pissed off about now. Star
Yeah.
Wars fans.
Well, it's basically season 7. They George R. R. Martin he released the fact that he had 11 or 12 seasons written out for the show.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we're wrapping it up in 8 because we
I
have
mean,
other stuff to do.
This is the type of show that you could easily do like a brand's dream thing and say the last episode or two were
Yeah.
a dream. Like maybe the Night King thing was alright. I wish they extended it a little more of the battle, and then I did like how he died though, but it was I wanted that in 2 or 3 episodes,
Yeah.
a whole battle episode. That would have been
well,
insane.
exactly. That's
Like-
what I think this season should have been. It should have been the long night. The long night was literally one fucking night.
I know.
Like last time it was years. Now it was one night.
Yeah, they could have made this season 10 episodes.
I
Like,
really,
easily.
Yeah, I expected more because I remember like a year ago they were like, "Oh, this season's taking forever to film because it's so much battling."
Yeah, it's supposed to be these movie length episodes, which we never got.
I mean, they were long, but it was like I
Yeah.
wanted way more battle for that. That battle should have been like, yeah, I wanted more people to die too. Like,
Kev, you and I know better than most people how long modern movies are.
Yeah.
So like their movie length. Like what movies?
yeah.
Like 1984. Like they
Yeah,
make an
they're
84-minute long
an hour and a
movie.
half, Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should have been. I definitely think. Yeah.
But no,
like
my
3-hour finale would have been crazy. Good. I think they could have had a lot more into that.
yeah, but my long night thing was that I mean it it should have been a few episodes or the whole season, like you said, of them battling the Night's King, of the battle, whatever happens in episode 3, they lose. Either they get pushed back and have to fight again, or they just die. Everyone fucking dies, and then you see the Night's King march south for an episode or two.
Like
And then you see the Night's King fight Cersei and Euron,
Yeah.
and you see like mad scientist Qyburn
he
coming up with
needed-
crazy shit to fight the
He came
White
across
Walkers.
Real weak. I did like how they killed him off with Arya and the stabbing the battle sweet, but he felt empty. Like he was a nothing.
Yeah,
What do they call those? Just those objects they just put
glass
in-
cannon.
a MacGuffin.
MacGuffins.
He's a MacGuffin.
He was kind of a MacGuffin. I wanted him to be like an old character that, like, oh, he got killed early on and he turned into a Night King.
Yeah.
For some just a little bit like that. He didn't have to be Ned Stark or something like that. But
What's it called? They like episode like 1 and 2. They could have done that. Like they could have done an episode 1 and 2 where like they're preparing, they're blacksmithing, you get reacquainted, and then 3 could have been like the last stand of the last hearth. Like
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
the last stand, and then the end
True,
of the
because
episode.
that all happened off screen.
Yeah, then the episode like you see what they do. They show them cutting the limbs off and like putting the dead bodies. Like you build a bad guy, you build a character.
Yeah.
Whereas they're like, look, this guy's bad. We're gonna show you. We're not even gonna do it through exposition or good acting or good storytelling. We're just gonna show you a portrait of why he's bad, and then we're gonna make that kid scream.
Yeah, because the last time we really saw was Hearthhome. What was that? Season 5.
Yeah,
So
but
what was that?
it was the last time we really saw a good like what JD's talking about. It was I think it was Hardhome in like season 5 when John went to save the wildlings up north and they battle the White Walkers.
right, and yeah.
And there's a scene where the Night's King has his arms up and he like raises everybody from the dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that feels so long ago.
Yeah.
Hard Home was like one of the best episodes.
Yeah, that was a
And
really good episode.
And that was the guy who directed all the war episodes.
Yeah.
Like Blackwater Bay. The second to last episode was directed it, where they took over King's Landing, and then the third episode, the Battle of the Bastards, Battle of Winterfell, was the same director throughout all of it. So.
Oh well, I sent you the clip. I don't know if you ever saw it. So this is from last episode. But I don't think I'd seen this when we podcasted last week. But Davos in season 2 about the bells in King's Landing. So
yeah.
So the whole thing about the bells meaning surrender, which was such a weird forced thing, and like I didn't get if it was going to be some subversion or what it was. There's literally a scene in episode 9, season 2, where Stannis is attacking from the Blackwater, and the bells start ringing, and it's his bells at King's Landing start ringing, and it's Davos and his son on a ship. And Davos' son says they're welcoming their new king, and Davos says, "I've never known bells to mean surrender." It's literally from their own show. They fucking say the bells of King's Landing specifically do not mean surrender.
But did you notice how bad the storytelling went? Like it went from Davos in season 2 getting blown off his ship
Yeah.
and like having to swimming, and Salador San, he picks him up on like a deserted island. He is like blistered lip, and then in season 8, Euron Greyjoy gets blown off his ship, and he like just happens to land right where Jamie Lannister was. You're like, how the fuck?
Yeah, but I don't know. Go back if you can find that scene. Watch it because it's an awesome scene because Davos says that line and then his next line,
Get down.
no, his next line is like, "Oh, I've never heard the bells being surrendered." It's like, "Oh, if they want to play music, we'll play music with them." And then he start the drums of war on the ships and stuff. It's a pretty awesome scene.
So, the other day before I flew out, I went to a wedding, and I was talking to someone there, just some random person that was invited to the wedding, and we all started talking about Game of Thrones, of course. 'Cause that's like the only thing people have in common, I guess. So I was like, at this point, why don't we just? We were throwing out dumb theories. And I was like, I think the dragons is just going to kill everyone and become a sentient being and become the king. And I almost kind of was like, when she got stabbed, I kind of like was like, man, just kill him and just everyone die.
So I read a post today that said either the dragon's the smartest thing in the world or it's the
Oh.
dumbest thing in the world.
I'm like, he definitely acted like he knew what was going on. I think I just wanted him to be, I don't know. It would have been cool, like twist.
Well,
And that's the whole thing is twists.
Well, my like initial thought when I saw it was like, oh, so he smelled the iron sword, and then he was like a dog, so he's like, oh, the Iron Throne must have killed her.
Well,
so then he burned it.
Remember
like-
last week we talked about symbolism and how the symbolism
I-
doesn't
I-
make any
next
sense.
thing I'm gonna say,
That's a symbolism. Like he burns the whole thing and started. Like, but why would the dragon know that?
Yeah.
Like either the dragon knew it, like to like explain, like this Iron Throne symbolizes the entire thing, and I saw, or it's all an iron knife in his stomach. It's like that's an iron knife, and like burn it, like
Yeah.
I thought there was like some line way back in the series where they're like the dragons. They thought they were like as smart as people, or even smarter. Wasn't there some line?
There might have
about
been,
that?
yeah. That sounds right.
Because that's what I thought they were going to bring up. I thought the dragon would say something that would be great. Just totally like, what? I just needed some. I needed a crazy twist in there.
Yeah, but so the one thing I brought up,
Because I mean, everyone freaking knew that she was going to die.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that.
yeah, they super telegraphed it.
Oh, I got to
but-
take this shirt off.
But the one thing I brought up last week was how I felt like the show's become like a surrealistic show. Like they keep doing all these things that are like metaphors that like don't make sense in the world, that don't make sense for the characters to do, but they have some symbolic meaning. Like the Hound, running and knocking his brother off the cliff and going into fire. Like, I mean, I guess that one wasn't as far fetched, but it's like, oh, the symbolism of him in the fire. Like they're so straining for like these like clever, like, oh, they're so symbolic bullshit. And this is one of those, like
the burning of the iron. You're like, oh.
yeah, there's no reason the dragon would sit there for like a full minute of flame and totally melt the Iron Throne, except for the symbolic meaning, which the fucking dragon wouldn't know.
Also, why didn't John just go downstairs and be like, dragon?
That's
Dragon
exactly what I
flew
thought.
Also, horrible name for the dragon, George R.R. Martin.
Oh,
Come on,
yeah.
Drogon.
Yeah.
He named that, right? It wasn't.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
TV
no, that's his
show.
name.
Yeah, just come on.
But to be
A
fair,
little more.
well, to be fair, he's named after Khal Drogo. That's why he's Drogon. But but somebody said that to me this morning, like, you wouldn't get a horse named like Hars. So
I mean, yeah. Harsh.
I didn't think it was that funny when I heard it.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah, but seriously, like all John had to do, because no offense, but the Unsullied are kind of uneducated. So at this point, yeah. So it's like,
Any Unsullied out there?
so it's like,
To be fair, JD's mom was an Unsullied, so
yeah,
it's fine.
yeah.
So Unsullied, do they have no package at all, or is it just no balls?
I don't know. There's a scene where Daenerys and Missandei speculate on that. And I don't think they ever answer it.
I feel like for simplicity's sake, chopping all those people's junk off, you just would go for the balls, because at least
Yeah.
you won't have to like recreate a pee hole.
Exactly. Yeah, because if you chop part of their penis off, you can run all kinds of other
They're gonna
issues.
die. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
They're gonna bleed out half of them. You can't make like thousands of people dickless.
Yeah.
Can you?
maybe Kev's great ancestor worked in Marine or something.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is basically all he had to go is Danny took the. Didn't you see Danny on the dragon? And
Yeah.
and well, what about this bloodstain? Why had to kill a couple people and then Drogon ate them because he just burned a whole and like I mean if he like it was convincingly said it I'd be like that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was
Like,
thinking. Exactly
there
what I was
was-
thinking when I was watching it.
There's still people up here hiding from like the ruin of this dragon, and that's I killed him. And Danny's like, I'll be right back. I want to go like take a tour of my town.
Yeah. But yeah, he should have ran out and be like, "Oh my God, Drogon carried her away. I couldn't stop him. I don't know what happened. Somebody help!"
Sansa,
Like-
let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
But like Jon Snow's a dope, so he definitely was like, "Oh, I killed her." Like,
that's right. There should have been a little scene there. There should have been several.
or like
things.
him fight Grey Worm. I just wanted him to fight Grey Worm. It would have been an awesome scene. All the pointless battles we got, him fighting Grey Worm with Longclaw and Grey Worm's spear, it would have been a fucking awesome battle.
Well,
and it
what-
would have made sense. It would have made sense to do.
What would have been awesome, or not awesome, but like what would have prevented all this? And when she's like, oh, the episode before, like, oh, is it love or fear? And like, if he just would have kissed her and fucked her,
If he just would have gave her the
he
D,
would have gave her
all
the
these people would
D.
be alive.
Yeah. So,
Which I think, and there are people that are finding fault with the show for some of this, the feminism themes and some of these like PTSD themes and their how they display mental illness and some of this stuff. And like that's one of the things like they have strong female characters. One, they make them all crazy. Two, all the stuff that Daenerys did, if it was a man doing it, no one would think they were crazy.
right.
So it's like it's kind of offensive from a feminist perspective. And then the showrunner basically said, I forget if it was Benioff or DB Weiss, but he basically said after the episode that part of why she went crazy is because she didn't get the D.
Yeah.
Like he basically said it after the episode. So like that's super offensive too.
Yeah. Well, they just rushed through the last season. And it was terrible.
Yeah.
I kind of want to move on. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the series, I was like kind of hesitant to be like, oh, they're probably gonna make some prequel or sequel thing go on. Now I think they kind of have to, or I'm gonna be even more upset.
They're making 3 sequels, 3 spin-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's already in the plans.
What are the
wow?
What are the other spin-offs going to be?
I don't know, but they did confirm that there's 3 spin-offs going to be. One I heard is going to be The Long Night, like
is
the
stupid.
actual Long Night.
And what's that like? Because
So-
I'm like clueless because I don't read, so
So
I
essentially,
don't know how.
So okay, tell me what you think about this because I think the Long Night, which I think is going to be the first prequel, is a really stupid idea. So essentially, all the prophecy we heard in the show comes from the Long Night. So the Long Night was 8,000 years ago, and it was when the White Walkers rose up and attacked people, and then Azor Ahai, who's like the prince that was promised. Drove Lightbringer through his like beloved's heart to like make Lightbringer, and then fought back the dead and killed the Night King. Essentially,
Well,
this is what happened 8,000 years ago, and then they built the Great Wall and everything else afterwards. So we just heard that story.
yeah.
So why are they telling us again?
What they should do is they should get Eddie Hall as Robert Baratheon,
Yeah,
and then do Robert's Rebellion.
yeah,
So-
I think I'd like that. Maybe like even like a thing where you kind of like switch back and forth timeline type thing. I need
Yeah.
some more like, the ending, they screwed that up, didn't they?
yeah, but
Now the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, damn, like,
yeah,
I,
but
I really wanted John in charge.
yeah, but if they did
Oh,
Robert,
because John's a man.
yeah.
He would have deserved it. He just killed he was a badass. They made him just like this weak little dude up in the north forever. And is that really what you want? I don't think so.
I really laughed out loud though when Tyrion was like, "You're going to the Night's Watch." I was like, "Oh man."
Yeah, like
That's
again,
terrible.
like he died up there.
It was like, wah wah.
They killed him because like why would he?
Yeah,
that's
and-
PTSD.
Yeah,
stuff.
he basically said, "Is there still a nice watch?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there needs to be." Like, and then you get up there, still people. What? When
Yeah.
did those people? Didn't they
Yeah.
all fucking die?
He ends up. So what do you think he did when he walks away into the woods? Does
He's-
he join them, or is he just kind of like
No, it was more. I
shepherding them into the woods?
yeah, I thought it was more civil administration. Like, oh, now his job is to find placement for all the wildlings.
I mean, yeah, and then I think I'd rather a little like 5 more minutes show him. Maybe he like takes his black jacket off and like
Yeah.
puts on the white like wool thing they wear.
Yeah.
Dude.
Fur.
Dude, he's still gonna be up north. He's just gonna hang out with Tormund,
Yeah.
and they're gonna drink giant's milk.
Well, are the
Sad.
wildlings?
That's a sad ending, and I don't like that.
Well,
But I mean, I didn't want sad. I wanted either severely tragic or like okay, I didn't want a lot of people to die. Honestly,
I kind of got the impression
It
that the
would've made the drama
wildlings
great.
were kind of the new Night's Watch. Like at some point, they kind of made it seem like that. But like
Yeah.
like not in this episode, but before.
so what's as far as the lore, can the Night King come back? Because I guess he did, huh? And
Well, there was a
from the
rumor.
original?
There was a rumor that was
8,000.
part of that was going to be the last scene at some point they had written was like John and Tormund would see like one of those like circles again that like the Night's King had made.
I like that if he
But-
could come back, like it, because
Yeah.
I mean he did die very easily, so it was like, yeah, I would like to see that if he, that he's like a thing that you can't kill. It
Yeah.
just comes back later.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they're still going to see those circles because he made those circles. Just because he died didn't mean those limbs were
Yeah.
going to fall off the wall.
But
yeah, that was that was crazy. I remember.
But there's so I haven't read all of it. I own it, but I haven't read all of it. But the Game of Thrones like lore book that like George R. R. Martin wrote with like
It's like called Fire and Blood.
yeah,
right?
which is a really cool story because he basically wrote it with like two fans. Like there were two fans that are like super fans, know everything about the Game of Thrones universe, and he's basically like, and I think they approached him about writing it. So like he wrote it with them, and it's kind of cool because it's written from the perspective of a maester, so it's not all accurate. So they can like like everything's not 100% canon in there because it's what this guy knows about the world.
How silly was the title? I mean, it's fitting, but like the title of the book that the Maester
Oh,
wrote
yeah.
for the
not
wars,
much
and then what's it called? Because in the very beginning, they're like history books. When she's like history books will never add you in, and like he's not in any of the history.
He
books.
definitely would be though. He was the hand of the king for multiple kings.
Multiple kings, and he's the new hand of the king.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just like a one-off little joke. Stuff like that I didn't mind, but it was like, the overall things were bothering me.
Something I did mind was that Samwell Tarly is not a fucking maester.
Oh yeah, no, because
He's dropped out of school.
yeah, from what it seemed like, you had to basically be like a priest and not bang anyone. It seemed
Yeah.
like, and he definitely did that. We all saw that.
Well, not only that, but you have to graduate from the Citadel. He never graduated from the Citadel.
Yeah, and what's it called? He's like the leader of House Tarly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the leader of House Tarly. They showed him as a fucking lord, and then
That was what, like a few weeks prior.
yeah, they had Bronn.
Yeah.
Bronn fan service of the Blackwater there. Like they explained, like they basically had him in there, and they're like, "Here's all the stuff you really did
I
get."
was definitely that scene. I thought they were gonna throw up a little word on there like 2-3 years later or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it felt like.
But it was
I
only a few
like,
weeks. They were still rebuilding King's Landing.
Yeah.
It was short. It was a short time period. But
Yeah.
yeah, a few years later would have cleared up a lot of things because then he could have gone back and become
Yeah.
maester.
But then they couldn't do like their fun joke with like everybody. What did they say to
About the
Bran?
brothels. Oh no.
And they're like, "Oh, we'll clean that up."
Yeah. What else was that scene was I thinking? Shit. I don't know. I'm trying to play in my head now, but
Yeah, it was him and then Braun, not Bran.
yeah.
Bran. Yeah, and then who else was at the table?
Oh, and then
Dava. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Sir Podrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came through.
I loved some of the meta moments in the thing, like when Jon says to Tyrion how love is the end of duty, and then Tyrion was like, "Wait, did you think of that?" Because the showrunners and show watchers were thinking like, "Wait, Jon's not that smart," and Tyrion's like, "You're not that smart." And then when they were voting in that King's moot. And then Davos is basically like, I don't even know why I'm here, which is true. Like, why the fuck's Davos there?
Yeah, he's like, I don't even know if I get a vote, but Well, I mean, Davos. Did they say they need like a master of ships or something like that?
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
wasn't yet. I
Yeah.
mean, they didn't have a king yet. Also, why were all those people there? Because they weren't there to decide on a king. So why did they go there? Did they all? Everyone cared what happened to Jon Snow.
Yeah, they were negotiating for Jon Snow
Why?
and Tyrion. I don't know. I don't.
Why
I
did
couldn't
any of
tell
them
you.
give a fuck?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and those wasn't Sansa. She was way up in the north. That would have taken a while to get there.
Yeah, it takes weeks just to get from
That too.
Winterfell to
That
the
was- yeah.
the border of
They did
the
a lot
north.
more of that earlier seasons where they'd show you them walking or going down to a place to battle. Whereas this, like, they battled up in Winterfell, and it was like next episode, boom, right down there. They're
Yeah.
there. Like there was no transition. It wasn't like, oh, it's gonna take us like a week to get down there.
Like
Let's prepare.
half the first season, they're walking from
They did a
Winterfell
lot
to the
of
King's
that.
Landing.
Yeah, there was a lot more, and then there's adventures in between. They'd find people, and there was vagabonds and all that.
Yeah.
Well, what's it called? They did show like the way they showed Passages of Time was like Tyrion's beard was like halfway down his chest, like so you could tell like that took like 6 months. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So and John looked like shit. But I mean like yeah, like why would half those people be there?
Why
like,
would they be
fighting?
there? Why would they care what the fuck Grey Worm thought? Grey
Yeah.
Worm's just some dude.
Right.
Why would he be in? Why would he decide anything?
It's like it's our city.
should've-
Whose city? You don't even have a fucking leader.
yeah.
None of you guys are educated.
As soon as he had his like, his allegiance was still with her after all that shit she did with the town, burn everyone
Yeah.
up. You would think they would have tried to kill him too at that point. Like,
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would have killed Jon Snow. But then.
no, I killed the Grey Worm.
Oh yeah, true.
Killed him too. Like he was like, oh, I still love her. You know, that's his queen still, and I'm still gonna be allegiant to her, even though like, did you not see what she just did, dude?
So here's the thing with Jon going to the wall though, is that what Sansa wanted? Because I mean, Sansa has all the power. I mean, half the people in that Kingsmoot were loyal or had owed some allegiance to Sansa. Sansa basically said she had the city surrounded with a northern army. Like she didn't have to do anything the Grey Worm wanted, but she did want to be queen in the north. So was she like, oh, I guess we could send Jon Snow to the wall?
Yeah, but no, the whole wall thing was just a ploy. He wanted to be up north anyway.
Yeah, but
like
he-
he was going to go up north.
Yeah, but he
like-
didn't want to go back to the Night's Watch. I mean, he's
No.
clearly disappointed. But that's what I mean. Why would they agree to anything that Grey Worm wanted, unless
Right.
Sansa also
Yeah.
kind of
It-
wanted
it's
it?
her fucking kingdom. Like she
yeah.
could have came down, like yeah, you have
That
to go
was
to the
my whole
wall,
gripe,
and like
was
as
that-
soon as you pass the twins, you just go,
Yeah.
John, I don't give a shit what you could say. You could,
That was my whole
I'm
gripe,
the
was
queen.
that point.
You can do whatever you want.
And like the other kingdoms would have been like, wait, I didn't know that was an option.
And
I want independence
Even
too.
yeah, there was like all those people could have like outranked him and been like, "Well, you're gonna just sail away anyway." So, and then like Bran, he could have been like, "Yeah, we'll just keep him around. He can be something in my court or whatever."
Yeah, he could have been the head of the Kingsguard.
Yeah,
He'd have been the
and the
yeah.
Queen Slayer.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I thought might happen. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's gonna be the Queen Slayer now." Well, I guess he kind of was.
I saw something today. It said Jamie is the best Kingslayer because he tried to kill a king like 8 years before he was even king.
Yeah, Baby King.
I
I wonder if there's any Reddit posts from when it first started and somebody predicted that
That'd be interesting.
Bran was going to be king. I think somebody probably did because it was just like
Yeah.
you could see it, like it's like a trope thing, right? You could throw a guy out the window, he's going to come back and bite you.
yeah.
Well, I what's it called? I read something today where some guy goes, "Yeah, I remember they leaked out the entire plot of the 8th season, like at the end of the 7th season, and like he's like." Me and my friends, we laughed it all off because it was so ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And then they're like, "Oh, that's how it turned out." That's
It's
kind
not
of
that
crazy
funny anymore.
Yeah, or like season 7 was shit too when they're like, we amassed this big army. We have the Greyjoy fleet. We have the lady Olenna Tyrell, which had no power at all.
No,
And,
no.
and-
The what I'm trying to think of the Preston Jacobs thing. Like basically like when he went through, it's like when the Sand Snakes rolled door, and it's like, the baby mama of the brother of the king becomes the new leader, and then like for Olenna, like the mother of the old leader becomes the new leader. Like
Right.
this is how feudalism works now.
Yeah, and then so they had massive fleet, and then Euron comes out and destroys their fleet
Three
And then-
times.
3 times.
3 times he destroyed Daenerys' fleet. She doesn't have a fucking fleet anymore.
Yeah.
I don't understand where they kept. So she just magically reproduces shit. Because how many Unsullied were there? And there were more Unsullied in that scene than when she started. And you can't make new Unsullied. So the
Well-
Unsullied numbers only should have gone down over time.
Yeah, well, she said half, which makes it like 4,000.
Yeah.
But she had an entire King's Landing surrounded.
Yeah. Same with the Dothraki. I think the Dothraki would drive me more crazy because, again, another after the episode thing.
Like 6 Dothraki made it out.
Yeah, after the long night episode, which again I would stress was like just kind of a normal length night.
Well, it's a winter night. So,
Yeah.
So it was like, it could have been like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Is this the battle or
Yeah.
what? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, after that battle, the showrunners in the after the episode said, "This is the end of the Dothraki." And then next episode, there's a whole fucking Dothraki horde that's back from nowhere. I guess maybe she sailed another horde over. Like, I don't know.
And also the company, the mercenary company.
Yeah, the Golden Company.
No,
that was the
hold
most
on,
wasted
hold on,
plot
hold on.
line.
The other one, where the guy,
The Second Sons.
the Second Sons.
Yeah.
Why didn't she sail them over?
That's what I thought. I thought once her army was wiped out, the Second Sons were going to come over. And then
Right.
there'd be conflict between Dario and Jon Snow.
Right.
You know, all this stuff.
right. Dario the Highness.
Horus.
What? Why didn't?
Yeah. He's currently ruling
everyone
Marine.
dies as soon as we don't see him anymore.
No, he's currently the leader of Marine. That's who she left there.
Yeah, but
The guy
he,
that said "fuck Marine, fuck the people." He's currently the leader of Marine.
he could have came over and he would have been like another like captain. He would have like.
Yeah.
But the Dothraki should have been wiped out. Like she could have had like maybe a couple dozen Dothraki.
Yeah.
You know,
the
like,
showrunner said they were wiped out, and then they took it back.
well, just the military Dothraki. The rest, and you know what? She killed all the good Dothraki, like
Yeah.
the cows. You know, but
True.
then she took like the guys that weren't good enough to make a cow.
Yeah. So I was really bothered by Gendry because so again, this Kingsmoot scene happens only like a few weeks after the Battle of King's Landing, which happened only a few weeks after she declared Gendry Baratheon. So, and we're talking about this a little bit last week, but despite how stupid the show was about this, like someone must have been ruling the Stormlands. And like everyone in that universe would know who was ruling a major castle in the world. So
That's like if the governor of New Jersey was killed, and then like
everyone's like, "Oh, who's even the lieutenant governor? Who even knows?"
Like the governor of New Jersey and the lieutenant governor of New Jersey were killed like in a car accident, and someone was like, "But who's next?"
yeah, nobody knows.
And like Trump was like, "You're the governor," and they're like, "All right, cool, like all right."
But I'm just trying to picture it in my head, like off screen, like. So I guess Gendry just like walked down to Storm's End and was like knocked on the door and was like, "Oh, I'm Gendry Baratheon. I'm the Lord of Storm's End." And they were like, "Who are you?" And they're like, "No, Daenerys made me Lord of Storm's End. You weren't at the meeting, but like she made me Lord of Storm's End." And then they were like, "But Daenerys is dead now." And then they're like, "Oh no, but I'm still Gendry Baratheon."
Yeah, and then the whole High Garden thing, the Reach. A major kingdom, they were like, yeah, Bronn could be leader of the.
Nobody even lives there anymore.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. So I don't.
Who's controlling Lannisters?
Oh, you got
Where's the Lannister? Who's is that? Is
I
that
don't know.
Tyrion's?
Was there a Lannister representative there?
I mean,
At
it's
that Kingsman?
Tyrion, but I don't know if has he controlled the what's their town? I forget.
Casterly Rock, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, their army was totally demolished by a dragon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, still, there's probably like a.
But there's still
big-ass-
Casterly Rock.
Yeah.
Oh well. The Unsullied had taken over Casterly Rock, but it was unclear if they kept it or if they would have abandoned it because there was nothing
I need
there.
more show, man. There's questions to be in. They should just like give it a year, get everybody's answers on Reddit,
Yeah.
put out an extra season.
So now I went on the Game of Thrones wiki. So it says great houses, Bronn's house. So then the Tyrells. It says the Tyrells are extinct, which makes sense. The Tyrells are extinct, but wouldn't the noble houses Ashford, Beesbury, Beauvoir, Goy, Florent, Fossway, Hightower, Laygood, Merryweather, Oakhart, Redwine, Rowan, Tarley, wouldn't any of them just have taken
Yeah.
over the Reach?
Yeah, because I got the impression that So if Samwell was at the Kingsmoot, that means that that the Tarleys would have taken over the Reach. Why else would he be there if
Yeah,
the Tarleys weren't in charge of the
The
Reach?
Tarleys
now?
were number 2
Yeah.
in the Reach.
And but like briefly, the Red Wines I guess were in charge when Olenna like was for some reason ruling the Reach, and the Hightowers are a huge house too.
Right, yeah, but they're like,
But now it's just Bronn's house.
yeah, Bronn's house.
Bron's house. Hey, Bron.
Yeah, it makes
all
no
your
land.
horse.
It makes no sense. Yeah, then there's the Stormlands,
Yeah,
But-
just who's even running them?
Yeah,
It's
you
just-
guys want me to look it up or?
yeah, look it up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I want to see what Wiki has to say about this.
I just imagine there was just
I'm guessing everyone's just as confused as we are.
I imagine there was just an empty castle and a bunch of servants, and Gendry got there like, oh, thank God, there's a lord here now. We were just standing around for the last 3 years since Stannis died.
Oh, doggy. I can hear him. Yeah, so
So still the
that's-
Baratheon sigil.
yeah,
So it says here, Lord Gendry Baratheon.
Yeah.
But not that it would go to houses from the Stormlands. Let's see. Great House Baratheon, noble houses, Cole, Errol, Estermont, which is Stannis' wife's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she was she not? Yeah, I think she was
Yeah.
Estermont. Yeah.
Grandison, Lonmouth, all these other people, Tarth, Trant, what like
yeah. Why didn't Brienne pick?
Yeah, well, that was one of the things from the show. It's like Brienne and Davos both should have known who was ruling the Stormlands. They're both subjects of the Stormlands.
right. Especially Brienne. Brienne
Yeah.
should know. Like she doesn't
She's
talk to
from
her
one of the
dad.
noble houses.
Yeah, like a major house, you know. So it's like the Great House of Baratheon. Like it made no sense. Like the writing, like it was super meta.
So, like your example, it really would be like if you were the mayor of Philadelphia
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, who's the governor of Pennsylvania?" You're like, "I don't fucking know."
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you're the mayor now,
yeah,
Kev. Doctor called out sick today.
yeah,
You're now a doctor.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I
I
decreed
mean,
it.
I mean, that's basically happened before.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, here's your MD and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
Surgery in 2.
yeah, it's fine.
And where did the Unsullied go? What is that place? They
Oh,
made a
to
little-
Narth.
What is that?
So-
Should I know that?
So then no. So that's so that's the island where Missandei is from, and
Okay.
supposedly they're like a peaceful people, so they get like abducted by slavers all the time. But in the book, and I didn't read enough of the books to know this, but I've just heard it from other places. There's these butterflies that transmit the skin eating disease. So like more than half of non-native people that go north die a terrible death from disease.
Yeah, let's go there.
So most of the Unsullied will be wiped out by the skin eating disease.
The Unsullied and the Dothraki should have been wiped out by the Westerners anyway.
Yeah.
Like I know it's fiction. I know it's a show and books and everything, but like the Dothraki have never crossed the narrow sea,
Yeah.
which means they've never like seen like Ser Jorah should have killed him with the flu.
Yeah. True.
Like, basically, you know, and then the everybody should have like gotten gravely ill from the disgusting
Especially in King's Landing, you know, because that's so there's a whole theory about this of why there's no like America pox, like why there's no like why the Native Americans didn't transmit any diseases to Europe or to the Europeans.
please explain.
So it's because of big cities, which they had in Westeros, but they didn't seem to have in the same amount, at least in the parts of Essos where like the Dothraki were from. So the idea is that there's a lot of diseases that can easily be transmitted between people and animals. So when you have big crowded cities like ancient or like medieval cities where you have like lots of people and lots of livestock crammed in together, it's just such a good breeding ground for bacteria that all these powerful diseases like flourish and become more prevalent and mutate and become more stronger diseases versus like the American Indians who lived like in more spread out areas and didn't live in like close proximity with like farm animals and stuff. They didn't have the opportunity to like develop these more virulent diseases. So the Dothraki would be a pretty good equivalent to that. When they go to especially to King's Landing, they'd be fucked.
Right. Yeah, they would have been.
Yeah.
Oh, the 8 that should have survived the long night would have been wiped out.
Yeah.
We're
Now,
going down the rabbit hole.
yeah. now,
That's more than the show needed to explain, but
now the
I
Unsullied,
do like it though.
the Unsullied were from the Slavers Bay area, so that was a really populated like Western European sort of like area.
Yeah, they had pyramids. It was Cairo.
Yeah, so they might have had more exposure to like different types of diseases, and also, I mean, they were port cities, so they would have had probably that sort of stuff come in and out all the time. But
But we've seen the disgusting like filth of flea bottom and all
Yeah.
that other stuff. Like the Dothraki definitely, the Dothraki who are after Mongolians and Indian Native Americans anyway. Like they definitely would have been like dead.
Yeah.
So and then the like I know they were basically wiped out, or like the Tarleys were wiped out or whatever. But like if the Dothraki came up against the
Randall Tarley.
Randall Tarley,
Yeah, would've
he would have
destroyed
killed
him.
the rest of them.
Destroyed him.
He would have just killed the rest of them. And be like, I'll pay my gold
Yeah.
dragons.
Well, because it would have been like, yeah, because I mean, I imagine like Randall Tarley versus the versus the Dothraki would have been like, so the I guess Greyjoy rebellion thing where like Stannis like wipes out the Iron Fleet because he's basically like, yeah, I'm a soldier. They're like warriors. They're like undisciplined. They just charge
Right.
at you. Like they're easy to kill for like a real military person.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine it would have been the same thing with like Randall Tarley or like a real army versus the Dothraki.
Well, look at the Romans. The Romans fought pitched battles constantly, and
Yeah.
because of their phalanx and everything, they just won.
Yeah.
It's like 40,000 versus 100,000, and like they just decimated like tribes.
Well, back to I forget if it was season 7 or season 6, but the battle I forget what they call it. I don't know if it's like the second field of fire or like whatever they call it, or maybe like the wagon train battle.
Oh, right, where Jaime Lannister gets knocked off his horse by Bronn.
So I was really disappointed in that battle because I wanted to see the Dothraki fight the Lannister army. I wanted to see what would happen if the Dothraki fought against in a pitched battle, and instead we got the fucking. It's a precursor to the King's Landing. We just got one dragon just fucking shit up, and then the battle's over.
Yeah, I would have liked to see like a real battle.
Uh-huh.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Like Blackwater Bay, everyone loves it. It's one of their best
Yeah.
episodes. Battle of the Bastards, Hardhome.
Yeah.
You see like a battle.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Battle of the Bastards was. It was good.
I just never had complaints until this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people had too many complaints until these last few episodes.
Well, this is what I'm happy about because I think a lot of people like me who have like thought way too much about the show and like after every episode watched 6 different YouTube videos about like critiquing the show and stuff have disliked the show since season 5. So I think for a lot of people,
For a casual like me, it was
Yeah.
I didn't have too many gripes until this season.
I think for a lot of people that are like in my camp, season 4, episode 10 was the high water mark, and then it just started to unravel from
Is
there.
this Red Wedding or what is that?
That is. Oh, it just got real
Hey.
echoey.
Oh,
So for me as a Stannis fan in particular, but because it's when Stannis gets his like big cavalry and they like wipe out the free folk like beyond the wall.
The
And-
pincher move.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't wipe them out. They just like
yeah,
make them
they
surrender.
like totally crush them, and there's like I can't think of the line. There's like a good line from the book. It's like, oh, even though they had 10 our number, like it basically like they wiped them out like they were nothing.
right because they're disciplined.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the great scenes with now you have a king and the Night's Watch, and there's all the tension, and like it was just great for a few episodes, and then season 5 started the Dorne plot.
The Dorne plot,
which
which
they
went
totally
nowhere.
dropped by the next season because it was so ridiculous. And then you had Stannis burning his daughter for some reason, even though in the book he's so devoted to her, it makes no sense for
In
his
the show,
character.
he was devoted to her.
Yeah, in
He
the show
kept
too.
saying, if I fall, put my daughter on the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
Which he is the rightful heir.
Yeah. And then you had friggin' Littlefinger giving Sansa, who he'd worked for 5 fucking seasons to get, just giving her to Ramsay Bolton. Like the show's really started to go off the rails in season 5. But yeah, I mean, I think only people that were like real obsessed, like too obsessed with it, like cared as much. But I'm kind of happy that season 8 has been so ridiculous that like we're all on the same page now. Like it makes me feel a little better.
Everybody like universally disliked it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean even last season. I mean, I love that last battle. What was it called? Where they broke through the wall? But they.
Oh.
I don't know, but that whole scene, that was all great. It was like, oh shit, they coming. Like that,
Yeah.
that felt great. That was a good like
That's-
satisfying ending.
That's the one where the 13 men went behind the wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
yeah.
So what? Okay.
A lot of red shirts.
So there's a lot of stuff we can talk about with that. So okay, so when they got I don't know. So first off, what was the point of them going behind the wall to capture a white? what exactly did they need from Cersei, who
They
was
needed-
basically broken by that point and didn't really have an army left?
They
It
needed
was in
to.
the south.
They needed to bring
Yeah.
a white to Cersei's doorstep to show her that the next battle is there. It's at the north.
But what was Cersei going to do about it?
Cersei was going to help him fight.
But she she didn't have really much of an army by that point. She was only powerful in this, and now because she had the Golden Company, her army was pretty much spent.
But-
Her army had already been wiped out by Daenerys' dragon by that point.
Yeah, I think they wrote themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They already showed that the Lannister army was nothing. They didn't need the Lannister army. Also, there's Moat Cailin, so the Lannisters could not invade the north because they couldn't get past that choke point. There was no way. So there's no point in that whole thing.
Well, Mo Kalen, they could go through the twins. The twins would have let them through.
Now, Moat Cailin's a different choke point.
No, they would have just had to go through the twins.
No, I'm pretty sure the twins are a separate. There's like two different choke points.
Oh,
Yeah.
the north and south
Yeah,
of each
yeah.
other. Oh, okay.
So then,
Why couldn't they get through Moat Kalen?
because it's like an impenetrable fortress. It's like a big thing in the book, and I guess in the show it's not so much. But
Well, how'd the North get through it?
exactly. Or how did
Well, it's a King's Road, right?
how did the Vale army sneak around Moat Cailin, which was held by the Boltons?
No,
And then, like, how did no one report to Ramsay Bolton for the Battle of the Bastards? How was no one like, oh, yeah, this whole giant fucking army is coming down the road. I forgot to tell you about it. Like you wouldn't just bring a surprise army.
I thought they could get up through the King's Road.
No, the King's Road goes through Moat Cailin.
Oh, then how do they not go through Moat
I don't know. They just went around it, I guess. Even though you can't. But, yeah, look up Moat Cailin. I guess they might have came by ship, but they still would have had to land somewhere. They still would have had to land in some Bolton-controlled territory.
Not Matt. Matt Kalen.
How do you spell
MATT. Kalen. Yeah.
Look it up.
Keep talking.
All right.
Yeah.
Keep doing.
So,
All right.
So, but anyway, yeah. So, all right. So now, when they're beyond the wall, and those White Walkers are about to attack them, like that whole massive White Walker army.
Oh.
Yeah.
Moat Caitlin's the Craggle men.
Yeah.
The
Chronicle, yeah.
No, the Craggle men. They had Moat Caitlin still.
Yeah.
Yeah, not.
I don't know
Ramsay
because
Bolton.
because the Boltons took over. Ramsay Bolton took over Moat Cailin. That was season like 3 or 4 when he dresses Theon back in his Greyjoy armor, and he tells Theon because the Ironborn have Moat Cailin, and he dresses Reek back in his Theon armor, and he has them go up and tell them to surrender, and then they slaughter everyone in Moat Cailin, and the Boltons take over Moat Cailin. So they've held Moat Cailin since like season 4, like back
Yeah.
when it made sense.
Okay.
But okay. So when they're beyond the wall, and then that whole undead army attacks them, Jon's like, Gendry, run back to the wall and tell Daenerys. Daenerys is in Dragonstone. So what scenario did they think they were going to find themselves in? That Gendry was going to run half a day back to the wall and then send a Raven multiple days trip down to Dragonstone. Then Daenerys was going to fly on her dragon multiple days back. Also, this all happened in about 12 hours time period, which I saw a post. Somebody calculated Daenerys would have had to fly faster than a modern jet to get there in time, as well as the Raven would have had to fly to her faster than a modern jet, nonstop the whole way.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you saw
Yeah.
those dragons. They probably fought out thrusters
Yep.
because.
They just face backwards.
Yeah. Basically,
Blasters.
they fly like cinnamon toast man from Ren and Stimpy who flies.
Oh, yeah.
backwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
Powder toast man.
Yeah, powder toast man. But yeah, so that's like the stuff that's like annoyed a lot of people for multiple seasons. But, and then I don't know.
Hot in here, man.
Yeah.
I'm a sweaty man, and this is.
Me too.
I'm real sweaty.
Trying to get all the lady viewers. Just three sweaty guys in here.
We're gonna change the name of the podcast. It's just three sweaty guys now. That's gonna attract way more people.
I feel like more people would watch that.
Wait, three sweaty guys. They're like, turn it on. We have million subscribers.
That's all people wanted with just sweaty dudes. Yeah, you don't know your audience. Jesus.
If we had the camera, then we're all real shiny right now.
Yeah. I feel pretty good. I think it's because I live here.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, I turned on a fan.
you had this the whole
Yeah, I
time.
forgot to turn it on.
Ugh.
Hey, we just got done winter. I forgot all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling good now.
Yeah.
I can't handle this humidity anymore, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Nate's from Colorado. There's no such thing as humidity.
It's negative. It sucks it out of you. It's great. I love it. Things
Oh, wait.
dry out quick.
Here's the thing:
Amazing.
is winter over already in the show? Winter was like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it snowed, huh?
Yeah.
Or,
So
I don't know.
it was like just a regular winter, like a regular
I
Earth
didn't
winter.
care too much about that. I mean, it's winter yet.
Maybe because winter just started. I'm
Yeah.
thinking maybe winter's like it's basically October right now.
Yeah.
So you still get like the sunny days, but there's a chance it could snow. So that's probably the part of the winter they're at.
So that's why like King's Landing suddenly, when all the vegetation suddenly disappeared around King's Landing, and it was like a hot desert, and then it was like snowing the next day. And now it's like kind of hot again the next day.
Yeah, yep. Or if they just had the words that said 3 years later,
Yeah.
it would have explained. It would explain a lot. So in Colorado,
Yeah.
the last time I visited Colorado, I cracked a can of soda and took a nap. Right.
Yeah.
So if you crack a can of soda here
Yeah.
and you put it in there, half an hour later you wake up, all the bubbles are still there. Like 4 hours later,
Oh.
Hey,
yeah, like 4 hours later, all the bubbles are still there.
Yeah.
Right. So I cracked a can of soda. I took a couple sips. Half an hour later, I woke up. No bubbles in the soda at all.
Is this an elevation thing or a humidity?
I think
thing?
so. What is it, Nate?
I don't know. I think you're making shit up, man. I don't know. Maybe it might be elevation. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, all of our
There's
Colorado
less pressure
listeners.
there. There's less pressure, so that means things come out quicker. So like, I flew in here. I had like a bottle in my seat when I was drinking, and it was like crushed in when I landed. Physics.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the bubbles come out. So all of our Colorado listeners, Nate, just comment on the next YouTube thing.
That would be our first YouTube comment.
Yeah. Yeah. So truly I have about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
What's this?
That's all I have about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I had enough. I'm getting a headache now. That's
Yeah.
that,
Well-
that show's just
Yeah, we're all real sweaty.
Yeah.
What about the other topic?
Oh,
Next week.
he won't be here next week.
Call it.
Yeah.
Discuss a little bit.
All right, you can call on. What was it? Avengers.
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame. Yeah, I think you want to talk about that too.
Yeah, well, I think we talked about it. I don't hear Nate's thoughts on it, so we talked about it.
I just had one little thing. It was just Captain Marvel. I wasn't happy.
So I really liked how they used Captain Marvel, and I contrasted it on this podcast with how they used Arya in the Battle of Winterfell, because they're both. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't want to say either of them are Mary Sue's, but like they're pretty overpowered, each of them.
Yeah, I was like this. I hate when they do stuff like that where you're like, oh, this movie could have been done a long time ago because their power's so huge.
But that's kind of what I liked about it, was that they didn't use her. So Arya, it's like Arya kills the end boss. So like it's just like, oh well, none of it else mattered because Arya could have just killed her at any time. But in here, they didn't bring in Captain Marvel to the end of the movie, so you had to see everyone struggle without her. And then when she came in and saved the day. She blew up that big ship, but then she couldn't beat Thanos herself.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I loved about that.
Yeah.
He takes the Power Stone out of the glove,
Yeah.
puts it into his hand, and punches her. So the next time you see Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
is at the funeral of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
He punched her to New York.
Yeah. True, but that's what I liked about it. I thought the way they used her was really good because she is a really overpowered character. So you can't just have her run the show. And they've used other characters like that. Like they used Thor like that in Infinity War. So when he gets, so you remember the Battle of Wakanda, they're really struggling, and then him and Rocket come back, and he has Stormbreaker now.
Yeah.
and he just literally brings the hammer down and like wipes out a whole section of the battlefield himself.
I didn't like her movie either. I didn't like that one.
I don't know.
It was just bland and it felt forced.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, but I liked it. I don't know.
My favorite still, I think, is Doctor Strange.
I like Doctor Strange a lot too.
I like that one.
My favorite MCU movie though, Thor Ragnarok is like. I mean, I'd watch that 10 times in a row.
That one's
Right, Ragnarok's hilarious because Thor didn't want to, or Chris Hemsworth didn't actually want to do the Thor movies anymore. And then the third one, they made him like more lighthearted.
Yeah.
And then after doing that and then doing the other one, he goes, "Yeah, I'll do these forever.
Yeah,
as long
exactly.
as you want me to."
Yeah, I think that's cool. Yeah.
And what do you think? What's it gonna be moving forward now?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that a lot. I mean, they have a lot of movies
don't
planned.
Feel obligated to see much now.
Yeah. I mean, what I hope they do is just start from the beginning because, you know, with the first iteration of the MCU, I mean, it was 4 years before we got the first Avengers movie, and I think they need to do that again. I think they need to introduce us to new characters.
I would like X-Men versus Avengers.
Yeah.
If they could do that.
Yeah, X-Men.
I mean, it's Disney. They have all the money in the world right now.
Yeah.
Let's do this, Disney.
They could do it. Yeah, they really could do whatever they
Just
want.
buy them out. Get the X-Men. Get some new X-Men.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
And it's a matter of if they can pick, you know, and I don't know if it's just they're rolling the dice and picking the right characters or they're just so good at it because I mean some of the characters that are like well-known mainstays now are not like popular characters. Like that's the big comparison I've seen is like DC has these super famous characters and Batman and Superman doesn't know how to fucking use them. And Marvel builds a whole universe around Iron Man, who like was not anywhere near as well known as other characters. And they bring guys like Doctor Strange, who I really like that movie too. He's been a big character in the last two Avengers movies.
Dude, Doctor Strange has always been one of my favorite comic book characters. I used to like read his comics.
Huh.
Like I got one when I was like 7, and I like read his comics. I found him online, and I just think he's like a weird, like outspoken character.
Yeah.
And like when they brought the movie, I was like super excited.
Yeah, and then like the Guardians of the Galaxy, like they made like a fucking talking raccoon and a fucking talking tree, and Star-Lord. Like they made those guys awesome. So I hope that continues. Like whatever random fucking guys they bring out of the comics.
Oh, they're bringing
make
out some
awesome.
random ones.
Yeah, they're bringing. In a couple of years, they're gonna have the first Asian superhero. Although they had Doctor Strange's guy with them,
Wong. Yeah.
I think he qualifies as the first Asian superhero. But.
Well, I mean, he's from New York, so yeah. So
What is that? Who is that? Is it an established guy or he's going to be new people?
Yeah, I forget who it was. It wasn't a guy I was familiar with.
Well, I laughed a lot. Kev laughed a bunch. Nate chuckled.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Whole Week Costa. I'm Jay for Kev and Nate. Thanks for listening. I know, bonus minutes.
Boner.